Hey guys, you're watching Green Streak. My name is Dave, and today we're doing a really casual session outside downtown Toronto. We're on one of the balconies in my building, and I have like a beautiful view of the city. And I thought I'd come out here. I hit a few dabs from my G Pen Slim, and I just talked to you guys about a little bit about something that I've been requested a few times in the comments, which is my views on teenagers and young adults using cannabis. And so I'm gonna put the camera down, and then I'm gonna take some hits off this thing, and we'll talk a little bit more about what I think about teenagers and young adults using pot. All right, guys. So I got my camera set up, and I'm gonna talk a little today about what I think about teens and young adults using marijuana and pot in general, either for medical purposes or for recreational purposes. But first, I'm going to take a hit of it from my G Slim. I have some butter packed in here today. It's some of that same unknown butter that I don't really know where I know where it came from. I don't know what strain it is. But I'm going to just do a little bit of a melt here, and then we'll take a hit of it from this. Cheers, guys. So, I don't know if you guys could see the smoke or not from that, but it was a decent little hit. So, let me talk a little bit about this topic, because it has been requested a few times. When it comes to teenagers using pot, this is one of these things that I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, so I'm not going to sit here and talk about facts, because I really can't substantiate any of it. Even if I read reports and stuff like that, I really don't understand it, because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a health professional. So I can only read as much as I can, try and understand it, and then give my opinion to you guys, right? And ultimately my opinion is that there's pretty clear consensus that smoking pot as a teenager and young adult is just not a good idea. I mean, especially on a regular basis. If you're smoking pot once in a while, it's probably not going to be a big deal. But context has a big point here too, right? When it comes to smoking pot for medical purposes as a teenager, I mean, a lot of teenagers deal with anxiety and depression, especially now that we recognize that a little bit more. And I think that I get a lot of help from using medical marijuana. I think a lot of other people would too, if they just gave it a shot. And I think there might be some use cases where pharmaceutical medications just aren't the right path for a teenager, especially because some of them are very addictive. So I would say there is some practical use in teenagers and young adults, but I think that that should be really gauged by a physician. You should definitely talk to your doctor. You should be, make sure that's the right path for you, and that the other paths just really aren't. So I would really just try and make sure that if you, excuse me, I would just really make sure that if you are a young adult and you think that medical marijuana is something that might help you, I would definitely make sure that you are talking to your doctor, letting them know that you don't think that the other practical pharmaceutical approaches are right for you, why you don't think they're right for you, whether it be because of addiction. I mean, there's a lot of substance abuse problems when it comes to benzodiazepines, especially in young adults and teenagers. So I would definitely not want to encourage a teenager to take a benzodiazepine, and I think there might be some reasonable use for medical marijuana in that kind of situation, especially when there's other illnesses involved, cancer or other illnesses where, pain or maybe other things are a factor where medical marijuana may be helpful. Now, when it comes to recreationally, teenagers are going to smoke pot. There's almost no way to stop it. I think education is a big important thing. I think they should know what they're getting into, and they should be responsible about how they're using it. Using marijuana daily recreationally as a teenager is probably not a good idea. I would say using pot under the age of 15, 16 years old is probably not a good idea, period. But after 15, 16, it's gonna happen. What are you gonna do about it? You kind of just gotta let it happen. And I mean, I'm not a parent yet, but me and my wife have talked about this. I mean, if my kid was to smoke pot and they were 16 years old, I really can't stop them from making those kinds of decisions when they're not home. So I kind of have to like just educate them as best as I possibly can. I mean, that's a bridge I'm gonna have to cross one day. I mean, hopefully not too soon. But I mean, at this point, marijuana will be legal, and there will be a lot of a different outlook on how pot is. We'll know a lot more about how pot affects young adults at that point, so I think we'll have a little bit of a better idea of how to handle that situation in 10, 15 years from now, or in 15 plus years from now, because I hope my 10-year-old kid isn't smoking pot. So yeah, you know, that's my general opinion. I'm gonna hit this one more time here, guys. Hold on. Decent, okay hit. So yeah, guys, that's my general opinion. You know, if you are a young adult, if you are a teenager and you're watching my videos and you do smoke pot and you do smoke pot every day, it's probably not a good idea. There's enough scientific evidence from that I understand that shows that there is some effect to cognitive ability and cognitive advancement in young adults and teenagers because of cannabis. And I would not want my kids or my like teenage kids to smoke pot or use pot regularly at all. So you know, definitely consider that. I mean, this is just my opinion. Definitely go out, do your own research. When it comes to medical purposes, obviously that is a completely different outlook. You know, I would definitely talk to your doctor when it comes to that kind of stuff. All right, guys, that's pretty much all I've got it for this video. I hope you guys liked it. If you like it, subscribe. I'm really close to 100 subs. I should be there in a couple days. I hope you guys like this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. Let me know in the comments down below why you didn't like this video. I'll try and fix it in future videos. If you want to see more content like this, I produce videos like this every single day. So like I said, please subscribe. That's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay lifted. Peace, guys.